Netflix stocks is worth it's within the collar. It's worth at least $350 a share to the deal. I mean, saying our cash versus theirs doesn't seem a fair comparison, David.
So probably respectfully, I disagree. I mean, look, those shareholders can basically go buy Netflix stock in the open market if they want to, and they're going to be sitting there with a linear stub that's valued at $1 a share, which is a business that's in secular decline. That without the synergies that's basically created by our deal, they will ultimately be holding something that is not worth anything. By every metric you can look at, we believe that our offer is superior to shareholders.
Right. And again, we're going to get a lot of debate around the value of that stub because even though it's an incremental, let's call it, difference of $2, it can go to the value judgment. Let me ask you about Paramount, though, if in fact you are successful here. You're taking on a lot of debt, right? I mean, and you're diluting your own shareholders significantly through an inclusion of, what, $41 billion in equity. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, but look, we're the largest shareholder of basically the Paramount Class B common stock.
We being
the Ellison family. We will also be the largest investor in this deal. We're literally sitting here today because we are fighting for our shareholders, and we're also fighting for the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery. And from that standpoint, this deal is accretive to our shareholders. You know, when you look at what the combined business would be with the synergies that you put through it, round numbers, $70 billion in top-line revenue. We get to $16 billion in EBITDA very quickly, and it generates $10 billion in cash flow. What we're creating by putting these two companies together is a real competitor to Netflix, a real competitor to Amazon, a real competitor to Disney, not something that is so anti-competitive. There will be no more competition in Hollywood if this deal is allowed to come to pass.
Is it an existential issue for you, though, if you don't succeed here, David?
Look, as we've said on our earnings call, we believe in our standalone business. We have a great plan. But very simply, we made the highest offer for the company. $30 in cash is more than $23.
Right. But when it comes to Paramount itself, if you aren't successful here, you have confidence that you still have the scale? I mean, we've had this conversation before. No. I would assume that you're going to try and figure something else out because there is a sense that you don't have the scale to compete in this world.
As we've said, we can absolutely, this is a buy versus build. We absolutely have a path to be able to build. But again, when we actually sit here today, having put forth the most value for shareholders for Warner Brothers Discovery, we believe that they need to be able to evaluate that offer, and that's why we're taking it directly to the shareholders.
I asked you about the president, but I'd love to come back to that. I mean, do you sense that he is in your corner here?
What I would say is I'm incredibly grateful for the relationship that I have with the president, and I also believe he believes in competition. And when you fundamentally look at the marketplace, allowing the #1 streaming service to combine with the #3 streaming service is anti-competitive. And this whole notion of category ambiguity, forgive me, David, you've been doing this a long time.
Yes, I have.
Like, I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. In other words, their argument, John Malone made this argument with me, it's not about streamers, it's about TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
I'm sorry, let's follow that analogy for a second, right? Okay? That's like saying Coke can buy Pepsi, that they're both beverages because Budweiser is a substitute for Coke. That's not a realistic argument. Now let's actually look at it from the talent community. The greatest showrunners in the world, you know, David Benioff is not going to take the next Game of Thrones to basically TikTok or to Instagram. They're going to take it to Netflix. They're going to take it to Amazon. They're going to take it to Apple. They're going to take it to HBO Max. They're going to take it to Paramount Plus. That's not actually how the ecosystem works. If this deal is allowed to come to pass, it is anti-competitive, and it is a horrible deal for Hollywood. And as someone who spent the last 15 years of my life producing movies and television shows, this is an industry that I love. This is an existential moment for our business, and we believe that what we are offering is better for Hollywood, it's better for the customers, and it's pro-competitive.